You know that feeling when you work your entire life for something and you finally get it? The pride, the excitement, the satisfaction of having achieved something you've always wanted? That was me. Finally, after years of saving, after years of working long hours and sacrificing, I bought my dream car. It was a 2021 Porsche 911 Carrera, the car I'd dreamed about ever since I was a teenager. I had imagined this moment for so long, and now it was a reality. My heart was racing when I drove it off the lot. I remember the smell of the leather, the hum of the engine as I accelerated down the road. It was everything I'd hoped for, and more. I'd told everyone for years that I was going to get this car. My friends thought it was a joke, but I was serious. I saved every penny, skipped unnecessary expenses, worked overtime, and even turned down vacations just so I could get the money together for it. I didn't have much, but I had enough for my dream. I was finally going to drive the car I had imagined for so long. I was proud of myself. The first few weeks with it were nothing short of bliss. I kept it clean, meticulously maintained it, and spent hours just driving around getting to know every inch of it. It was my escape, my reward. There was a sense of freedom that came with driving that car, a feeling I had worked hard for and deserved. I'd finally made it, and nothing could take that away from me. And then came the day that would shatter it all. It was a Saturday afternoon. I had just come back from a quick trip to the grocery store and was unloading my bags when my phone rang. It was my brother, Michael. We've always had a somewhat complicated relationship, but he's family, so I answer the call. "Hey man, you home?" Michael asked, his voice cheerful as usual. "Yeah, just got back," I replied, smiling despite myself. "What's up?" "I was thinking about coming by to see the new car. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, and you know I've always been a fan of your taste in cars." Michael's voice had that familiar tone to it, the one that usually meant he was angling for something. I was used to it. "I can't believe you still haven't seen it," I said, shaking my head as I put the groceries away. "Yeah, sure, come on by. But you know I'm not letting you drive it, right?" I could hear him laughing on the other end of the line. "Come on, just a quick spin down the street. You know I won't wreck it." I hesitated. I trusted Michael, but I also knew that he wasn't exactly the most responsible when it came to driving. Sure, he had a good track record, but we weren't kids anymore. He was reckless in ways I didn't always appreciate. But at the same time, I didn't want to be the overprotective older brother. Maybe I was being a bit paranoid. After all, we were family. What could go wrong? "All right, fine," I said, rolling my eyes. "But it's just a quick spin, okay?" "Of course. You can trust me," Michael said, and I could practically hear the grin on his face. "I'll be there in 20 minutes later." Michael arrived at my place, and I could see him walking up the driveway with that familiar swagger of his. He'd always had that easy confidence, the kind that could charm anyone. I met him at the door, and after a quick hug, we walked outside. "There it is," Michael said, his eyes lighting up as he took in the car. "Damn, it looks even better in person." I smiled, proud as I opened the driver's side door. "It's all mine, man." We spent the next few minutes talking about the car, the specs, the engine, the way it felt to drive. Michael asked me every question under the sun, and I answered them all with enthusiasm. This was my dream car after all. Then, just as I thought the conversation was winding down, Michael turned to me with that glint in his eyes. "So, what do you say? A quick spin around the block?" I laughed, shaking my head. "I knew you were going to ask." I said, "No, Mike, you're not driving my car." Michael put his hands up in mock surrender. All right, I get it. But come on, it's just a quick drive. I've been stuck in the office all week. You don't mind, do you?" I hesitated, feeling that familiar tug of guilt. I knew I was being a little overprotective. Maybe I should let him drive it. After all, what was the harm in a quick spin? I'd had my share of test drives before, and maybe he was right. It had been a while since I'd given him a chance to enjoy it. "Okay," I said with a sigh, "but just down the block and that's it. And I'm riding with you." Michael grinned like he'd just won a small victory. "Deal." He slid into the driver's seat and I climbed in next to him. I could feel the excitement in his energy, and I tried to push my own reservations aside. Maybe I was overthinking it. The car was made to be driven, right? We pulled out of the driveway and Michael immediately revved the engine, feeling the power beneath us. I could tell he was enjoying himself, and I tried to relax, but the moment we hit the main road, something felt off. He took a sharp turn faster than I was comfortable with, and I found myself gripping the door, trying to steady myself. "Hey, take it easy," I said, my voice tense. "We don't need to be speeding around." Michael shot me a playful look. "Relax, man, I've got this." But as we sped down the street, I started to feel a sense of unease growing. There was something about the way he was driving too fast, too careless, that made my stomach turn. I tried to tell myself it was just nerves, but the truth was I didn't trust him behind the wheel, especially in my car. I opened my mouth to say something, but before I could get a word out, I saw the lights, a red light ahead, and Michael wasn't slowing down. I opened my mouth to shout at him, but it was too late. The next thing I knew, Michael swerved to avoid the intersection, but it was no use. The tires screeched as he tried to regain control, but the car slid sideways, and before I could even process what was happening, we crashed into the sidewalk. The sound of the collision was deafening. Metal crunching, glass shattering, the world spinning. My head slammed against the window, and my body was jolted forward as the airbags deployed. I don't know how long it took for everything to stop moving, but when it did, there was nothing but silence. I remember feeling disoriented, my head pounding, my heart racing. My breath was shallow, and for a moment, I couldn't even move. I blinked, trying to clear my vision, and when I looked over at Michael, I saw that he was still sitting there, dazed but unharmed. "Michael," I whispered, my voice shaky. "What the hell just happened?" He turned to me, his face pale, his hands shaking. I'm so sorry, man. I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't mean to crash your car." I could feel the anger rising in me, but beneath it there was a deep sense of fear. My dream car, the thing I had worked so hard for, was now a crumpled mess of metal and shattered glass. It felt like everything I had worked for was slipping through my fingers. I don't know how long we sat there, in the aftermath, both of us just trying to process what had just happened. But eventually, I managed to pull myself together enough to dial 911. The paramedics arrived soon after, and after a quick checkup, they cleared us both, saying we were shaken but okay. It was the car that was the real casualty. As they towed it away, I could feel the weight of the loss, the devastation sinking in. This wasn't just an accident, it was a betrayal. Michael hadn't just crashed my car, he had taken something I had worked years to achieve and destroyed it in a matter of minutes. When we got back to my place, I didn't know how to talk to him. He kept apologizing, saying he was sorry over and over again, but his words didn't reach me. I couldn't stop looking at the wrecked car, the one that was supposed to represent all of my hard work, all of my sacrifices. I felt like I had lost a part of myself in that crash, and no apology could fix that. "Mike," I finally said, my voice cold, "I can't believe you did this. You took my car for a test drive and crashed it. Do you even realize what that means? This isn't just about the car, it's about trust. It's about respecting me and the things I've worked for, and you ruined it." He looked at me, his face full of regret. "I never meant for it to happen. I swear, I didn't know things would go that way. I was just trying to have a little fun. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry." But his words fell flat. The damage had already been done. As the days passed, I found myself struggling with the aftermath. I didn't know how to look at Michael the same way. How could I? He had taken something so important to me, and now, no matter how many apologies he gave, I couldn't undo what had happened. The days after the crash felt like an endless blur, and every time I closed my eyes, I saw the twisted wreckage of my car. I'd been towed to a nearby shop for an assessment, and the damage was as bad as I had feared. The once gleaming Porsche I had spent so many months dreaming about was now just a hunk of metal, barely recognizable. The front end was smashed, the fender crumpled like a discarded soda can, and the airbag had deployed with such force that the steering wheel was completely displaced. My dream had been reduced to a pile of scrap. What stung more than the car, though, was the feeling that I had lost something much deeper than just material value. In that moment, I felt like I had lost a part of my identity. For so long, I had worked tirelessly for everything I had, from my job to my savings to the very car that was meant to symbolize my hard work. And in the blink of an eye, it was gone, because of a decision I hadn't made, a mistake I hadn't caused. But the reality of it all didn't hit me immediately. It wasn't until I saw Michael, sitting in my living room, staring at the floor, wringing his hands, apologizing over and over again, that the full weight of what had happened began to settle in. I felt anger building in my chest, but I didn't know how to express it. Part of me wanted to scream, to let him know how much he'd messed up, how much he had hurt me, but the other part of me wanted to pretend like none of this was real, to just keep things calm, smooth, like everything was fine. I think deep down, I was hoping it would be one of those moments where, after enough time had passed, I would just forget about it. But even as Michael sat there apologizing, I knew that wasn't going to happen. This wasn't something that could be brushed under the rug. "Mike," I finally said, my voice shaky, "you don't get it. You've ruined something I worked for. You've ruined something that meant the world to me. And you're sitting here apologizing like it's all going to be okay, but it's not. It's not okay." He looked up at me, his face pale, his eyes filled with guilt. "I know, man. I know. And I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I don't know how it got so out of control. I just wanted to feel the car, you know? It was stupid. I thought I could handle it, and I messed up. I'm really sorry. If I could take it back, I would." The apology didn't feel sincere. It felt like something he thought he was supposed to say, but it wasn't enough. How could it be enough when the damage had already been done? "You don't get it, Mike," I said again, my voice more forceful now. "This isn't just about the car. This is about trust. I trusted you, and you took that trust and smashed it, just like you smashed the car. Do you know what that feels like?" He looked down at the floor again, his jaw tight as if he were struggling with his own feelings of regret. I didn't think it through. I just, I just wanted to feel the power of the car. I thought I could control it, but I couldn't. And now I've destroyed your dream. I've destroyed something that was really important to you. It was true. He had destroyed it, but it wasn't just the car. It was the feeling of betrayal that I couldn't shake, the sense that I had been taken advantage of by someone I thought I could rely on. Michael was my brother. We had grown up together, shared childhood memories, and fought over the dumbest things, but we had always been close. He was the one person I thought I could trust, the one person who knew me better than anyone else. And now, that trust felt shattered. I don't know if I can forgive you, Mike, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I just don't know. He stood up then, pacing the room. I understand, I really do. But please don't shut me out. I can't fix what I did, but I'll do whatever it takes to make it right. I'll pay for the damages. I'll do whatever I can. Just please don't cut me out of your life. You're my brother. I can't lose you over something this stupid. The words he spoke seemed so hollow in that moment. I didn't know if I could take him at his word. He had said it himself. He was the one who had wrecked it. The damage wasn't just physical. It wasn't just about the cost of the repairs or the insurance claim that I had to deal with. It was about the emotional toll it took to process how little he seemed to understand what he had done. I'm not going to shut you out, I said, my voice steady despite the lump in my throat. But you need to understand that this is more than just money. This is about respect. This is about you taking something that meant the world to me and destroying it. He didn't say anything for a moment, and in that silence I could hear the weight of his guilt pressing down on him. He had taken the only thing I had worked for, the one tangible thing that symbolized all my years of effort, and he had destroyed it in an instant. He had taken something that was mine and made it his mistake. I know, he said finally, his voice small. I don't know how to make this right, but I'll do whatever it takes to fix it, I swear. I'll pay for the repairs, I'll pay for everything. But I didn't want his money. I didn't want to be bought out of this pain. I wanted him to understand that this wasn't just about fixing the car. This was about him understanding how deep his actions had cut. The next few days passed in a haze. I avoided my parents, not sure how to talk to them about what had happened. I knew they were probably getting updates from Michael, but I wasn't ready to face them yet. I wasn't sure what they would say. Would they take his side? Would they minimize what had happened? I didn't want to have to defend myself to anyone else. I didn't want anyone telling me that it was just a car, or that I should move on. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready to forgive. The insurance adjuster came out to assess the damage, and when the estimate came back, it was more than I had expected. The cost of repairs was astronomical, far higher than I could have imagined. I had hoped it would be a simple fix, a couple $1,000s maybe, but the reality of it hit me like a ton of bricks. The Porsche, my dream car, was totaled. It wasn't going to be the same no matter how much money I threw at it. The damage wasn't just physical. It was emotional too. I knew I had to let it go. I knew I had to accept that I couldn't go back to how things were. But letting go of something so precious wasn't easy. It felt like I was giving up a piece of myself. And every time I looked at Michael, every time I thought about what had happened, that sense of betrayal and anger came rushing back. I finally decided to confront my parents. I had to. I couldn't keep avoiding them, hoping they would just understand. I needed to hear them say something, anything, that would help me process what had happened. I needed to know if they saw this as just a mistake, or if they understood the gravity of it. When I walked into their house that day, my heart was pounding in my chest. I wasn't sure how this conversation would go, but I knew it couldn't wait. I had to get it out. Mom, Dad, I need to talk to you, I said, my voice steady but filled with emotion. They looked up from the kitchen table where they were sitting, and both of them immediately saw the seriousness in my expression. What's going on, son? My dad asked. It's Michael, I said, my voice trembling. He crashed my car, and now he's acting like it's no big deal. He's offering to pay for repairs, but that's not enough. It's not just about the car, it's about what he did, and I need you to understand that. There was a long pause as my parents exchanged a look. I could see the wheels turning in their minds. They didn't know how to respond, but I could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on all of us. Finally, my mom spoke. We're sorry, honey. We didn't know it had gotten this bad. We didn't know how much it had hurt you, but we know you're upset, and we're here for you. But her words didn't ease the pain. It wasn't enough. I didn't need them to apologize. I needed them to understand. I needed them to see the damage that had been done, not just to the car, but to the trust that had been broken. I don't know if I can just forgive him, I said quietly, my voice breaking. I don't know how to get past this. I feel like he's taken something from me that I can't get back. My dad placed a hand on my shoulder, his voice calm but firm. You don't have to forgive him right now. We'll support you whatever you decide. Just know that we're here. But in that moment, I wasn't sure if I could ever move past it. I wasn't sure if I could ever look at Michael the same way. The car was just a symbol of everything I had worked for, and he had destroyed it. Could I ever forgive him for that?